Hello everyone, this is Theocletian here with a PvE live commentary. You guys are probably wondering why I'm doing PvE here, but it's actually directly related to PvP, and I'll tell you guys why in a second. I'm pretty much doing the G hunts, and the main reason for doing these is just to get the Torvin rep, so you get the essences associated with that particular faction. The graders especially are amazingly good. But yeah, so if you guys are new to G hunts, basically there are several ranks you start. Where am I going? What's going on? I'm trying to look at this guy. But it didn't pop. Sorry guys, just trying to figure this out here. This game is a little bit buggy sometimes. This person popped their lore and didn't happen. We're on the same shard, so it's not a shard issue. Oh, that really sucks. Sorry guys, I have to also turn my settings down a little. I'm streaming some other things right now, so let's put it down to medium. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. So, for these groups, there's usually a lore rotation. And so currently I'm trying to lead this group, so sorry if I keep on pausing, but there's a lore rotation where people have the higher rank lures. They'll get to go first, and they get what's called master loot. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with that. So it's basically your lore, your loot, and it's up to the person who opens the lore what they want to do with the material. And as you can see, the rank 5 lures, are quite costly. That really sucks. Yeah, this rift might be cursed. But again, so the way that these rifts work, usually they're just pug groups, and I've had some great success in getting together pug groups. It's not bad at all. But you know, depending on the time of day, it's a lot harder. Starting out, you know, you can do up to G Hunt 3, including all G Hunt 3s on your own. By the time you get to the G Hunt 3s, they are a little bit difficult to do on your own. It might take a little while, but you'll definitely be able to finish those rifts off just alone. And even with 4s and 5s, if you have a good group of 5, it's actually probably, in a way, easier than having a full group of 20 who are just pugs. But most of us are playing very casually, so we don't have, you know, a core group of 5 that's on a lot. So the next thing I wanted to say about these rift groups is just they often go for a really long time. I was in one the other day for about 7 or 8 hours. I wasn't continuously in that group, but that group kept on going throughout that time. I thought it was kind of funny. There's not a lot of action going on. We're taking a quick break right now, I guess. But yeah, let me check in really quickly. Sorry, I just gotta do a little bit of administration here. Alright, yeah, so these groups, they go on for a long time, and more often than not, during peak hours, there's always one open. Generally speaking, you don't need too many healers. 2 or 3 is more than enough. Sorry. Alright, yeah, so this game is so freaking buggy. It's like, it really sucks for that person. That's, sucks. But, again, sorry, I lost my train of thought. So basically, again, with the rotation, people open up the lures with their own lure and they get the loot. And usually they do the summoning, which again, if you guys aren't aware, it's based off of your PA. And once you get to the rank 5 rifts, usually people only do a few certain hunt bosses, just because some of them are a lot easier than the others, in my opinion, especially in terms of tanking. Some bosses are a lot easier to move. And also, it seems like fire and death rifts are the most common that people have the PA for. So yeah. So that's why. So we're in a death rift right now. As far as fighting in these rifts go, it's pretty straightforward. It's just 3 different points that you have to defend for 5 minutes once you get up to the rank 4 and 5 rifts. It's really simple as long as people are paying attention. Let me respond. Yep, so basic idea is you don't necessarily need a tank at each one of these. You don't want to build the turrets early on because that'll give you elites. You want to build them right at the end of phase 2. Otherwise, if you have a well enough coordinated group, let's see, this isn't good. If you have a well enough coordinated group, you can just tank in the middle. But that rarely happens. It's pretty good practice to keep popping your planar charges. I don't do it right now just because I'm a tank and I'm somewhat lazy. But I will pop it if I need it at this stage. But definitely pop it for the boss stage. And it is also good practice to keep the... I'm going to have to pop it now. To keep the conduits marked. Just to call people to them if they end up in trouble here. We're a little bit too grouped up right now. We need to spread out a little bit more. But yeah, so basically this portion is really simple and straightforward. As long as your group is paying attention, you don't have too many people AFK, you should be fine. And don't stay grouped up too much. You gotta spread out a little here. These rifts can get quite tedious over and over again. I mean, it's just the same thing. So it's really about that rep and how intensely you want to grind that out. How much passion you have for that. But yeah, so this phase is halfway over already, as you guys can see. It's really easy, especially with non-upgraded turrets. But yeah, so as far as trying to tank these rifts, it's fairly straightforward as well, especially in these early parts. But also, when you get to the actual boss fight, a few things become really important. First thing is you have to keep the turrets up. I would say that's by far the most important, because the boss routinely casts this shield stacking buff that at full stacks gives it 99% immunity, which basically makes it invulnerable, and that stacking buff just, compounds really quickly, and he casts it fairly routinely, so you have to watch out for that. Can't be purged, can't be interrupted. And then so going along with getting the turrets ready, it's just routinely the ads do spawn while the boss is up. And you just have to make sure to drag the adds to the middle if you're a DPS, and if you're a tank, just to make sure to pick them up, because the turrets will waste time DPSing those adds. And then, oh, I forgot to mention, so the turrets, the whole purpose of the turrets is pretty much to remove that shield stacking buff that's on that boss, and without which you just cannot kill the boss at all. So the shield is absolutely compulsory to be removed. And so the adds, they will take up the turret's aggro, so you have to make sure they're free of adds. And as far as the actual boss goes, the only trick is at the beginning you do have to kind of jerk it around all the turrets just to get the turrets to start hitting it. For whatever reason, the turrets in the beginning, they don't have as far of a range as after they've actually engaged the boss at least once. So that is something to consider. And therefore, in terms of, oh, I forgot to, usually about 30 seconds before phase 3 starts, you want to just warn the team to start building, just to remind them, get those turrets ready. And then, yeah, so in the beginning, just have to grab the boss and as many adds as you can, and then travel around all the individual turrets. Grab him here. This one's a little bit harder to move than the others, I believe, if I remember correctly. Giant crab guy. But yeah, see, this is the shield buff I'm talking about. He's up at 5 stacks right now. It just compounds. Gotta drag him to the other places. He's at a full 9. He's not moving right now. It's really annoying. And pretty much all these bosses have some type of AoE. Some pretty nasty cleaves in there. We don't have any turrets up on this side. See, we need turrets pretty badly here. I've got to pop my charge before I get one-shotted. Alright, so now I'm going to bring him back to the middle here, and as you can see the buffs are going down, but he's recasting already. And if we are a little bit more coordinated, we got those turrets up, we're good to go. So in a highly coordinated team, you should be able to burn the boss fairly quickly. I mean, this buff, as you can see, is just disappearing with all the turrets hitting him. And if you have a high enough DPS, you could probably burn it, I would say, less than a minute. Does that sound right? I'm not sure, but we're going a little bit slower than normal, but it's not bad at all. It's definitely something I can live with. But yeah, the Torvin grind seems pretty brutal. I mean, you have to get venerated, which is ridiculous. But it does go by quick enough. See, this is what I'm talking about here. You got to pick up these adds here, and they're doing a fairly good job not bringing it to the middle, so I'm not really getting the aggro off of them, but at least they're not hitting the turrets, or the turrets are not really focused on them, so that's good. And as the tank, you know, I guess since it's a pug group, you can't be expected to do it all. If they're not bringing you the adds, then just stay in the middle, keep the boss in the middle. As long as the turrets are hitting the boss, then you should be fine doing your part. And yeah, I mean, people will die, unfortunately. Some of these bosses hit pretty hard, and if you're not charged up, that's the other thing. Just make sure your entire group is charged up for the boss fight. It makes it so much faster. I mean, some people will just kick the people who aren't buffing up like that, which is understandable because so many people want to get in on these groups, so you won't ever be in a situation where you're lacking DPS, fresh blood in here. So yeah, about the overall G-Hunt process, like I said before, there are multiple ranks, 5 ranks, and then I think there's some major hunt rifts too. I'm not sure what they're all about, but basically to progress the ranks, to progress up the ranks, you have to complete, oh, there's a few ads over here, you have to complete a bunch of hunts in the lower ranks, and make sure you kill all the bosses, which, like I said, again, up until rank 3, or actually up until rank 4, you can just do them all on your own time. But once you get to rank 4, you definitely need a group. And then you guys will just take turns popping the lures and stuff, and hopefully you'll get all of your achievements like that. So one other thing I just wanted to quickly mention, if your group is struggling with the boss and there's a ton of ads, you have to make sure you also protect the conduits too. And, oh shit, did I not give master loot to the... Oh wait, who opened this rift? I think it was this person. Whoops. It's kind of hard to tank and lead at the same time and also commentate. It's like, whoops. I'm not sure if that worked or not, but yeah, if you're leading the Rift group, make sure you remember to give the person the master loot. Not like an idiot like that right there I just did. Wasn't paying attention. Don't want that. But yeah, I mean, these rifts should go by pretty quickly. You should be able to do at least 3 or 4 in an hour, I would say. But in terms of the actual rep, I forget how much rep you get. Let me see here. I'm not sure if I have rep up in here. I think it's, I want to say it's 1,000. I can't tell what I was at, but something like that. But yeah, don't be afraid to join a pug group. Doesn't take a whole lot of coordination to be successful, but it does take some. Alright, so basically running out towards our next, I gotta remove my waypoint here. Well, actually, I guess we do have to teleport. Oh shoot, my thing's on cooldown. But yeah, if you want to be helpful, always volunteer to, if you don't have a lore, to use your group summon and run for the group. That's always appreciated. Other than that, just make sure, again, you have your planar charges prior to a fight, and you're using them throughout the fight, especially as a DPS. Oh, where the hell am I going? I'm not really too familiar with PvE all that much, but yeah, so in terms of getting those awesome essences, you just have to, whoa, is there a wall here? Jeez, invisible wall. Just have to keep on doing these rifts over and over again. Does get old, but if you're in a good group, at least it'll go a little bit faster. Alright, well, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for future videos.